Okay, hello and welcome back. Brett here with ClickMill.co. So in this video, I'm just going to give you a super brief tour of the inside of a Chat GPT account. Now, again, this is a very rapidly developing field. And so if you're in Chat GPT, you might see some new things that aren't in here. And we'll try to keep these videos up to date as best we can. But this is very rapidly developing. As they create new tools and features, we'll make videos on those and add those in here. Also, there is a lot of money coming into artificial intelligence with NVIDIA and Google. And, this is 50% owned by Microsoft, ChatGPT is, and they're committing billions and billions of dollars, which are being spent before the end of, it's 2023 right now. So this is going to change. And in the future, we might do a training on some other AI if it has a reason to be using it. So you should be aware of that. I'm interested in the results these things can produce for your ministry and mine. And so let's go ahead and look. So here you can see, how can I help you today? This is Chat GPT. And all you have to do to get an account here, Chat GPT, is just look it up on Google. Here you go. It's OpenAI, and you'll see GPT-4. And so there you have it. You just go and sign up. I do recommend getting a paid subscription after. Maybe you play with the free model a little bit just so you can get the feel for it. So the paid model has longer outputs. It's smarter. It has what's called a larger data set for training. And the more data you feed these things, the smarter they get. So this is the smartest version. And for me, I don't mind paying $25 a month per person. I'm not the biggest, I want every subscription in the world type of person. I like to keep our costs low at ClickMill. But in this case, it cuts work time by 95%. So a blog, or any of these really high quality blogs you've seen on our site or articles, I used to spend 20 hours on each of those, if not more. And we've got that down to 2 hours with this tool. So it cuts our costs dramatically by paying $25 a month. So anyway, let's look at this. How can I help you today? So you can just chat with this. And so you just type in the search bar down here. Okay, now if you want to add a file, you'll see you can click here, you can add a file, and you can see I've got some AI training documents in here that I've used in the past, if you can see that window. Now it's got a number of different little, what do you want to say, prompts you can give it. And a prompt is just when we actually ask it a question or ask it to do something, we're prompting it to take action. Something that's very interesting with me is, as I started using this tool, a while back now, I started realizing that I asked people really poor questions, because when you ask someone a question, you're prompting them to give you information. And so I started really thinking about my questions, like, am I asking this clearly enough that they can really answer? So maybe you can expect that a little bit. So you can see compare marketing strategies, tell me a fun fact, brainstorm. Okay, so it's giving you prompt ideas, because the hardest part with adopting this tool is that you don't know what it can do, and you don't know how to integrate it, and you don't know how to use it. And so I've just sat around with my team and have just said, what can we do with this? And it's, we've been using this tool for almost a year now, because it came out about a year ago. And, it's just like, the number of ways you can use this is just absolutely crazy. And this is the baby version. This is Sam Altman, the OpenAI founder or CEO, excuse me, came out and said, this is the dumbest it will ever be. Those are his words. And so this is the baby version, and you can already use it on tons of stuff. And I will just add a caveat to that. There is sort of an adoption process and phases. And this is my own sort of anecdotal experience, but there are phases people go through when they adopt ChatGPT or any of these AIs. First, it's like, okay, it's kind of it's another thing. And then you start playing with it and you kind of go, whoa, hold on a second. And so there's a whoa, hold on a second phase, and you start playing with it some more. Then you discover the pictures, and we'll go through all this. You discover the pictures and you're like, no way, this is crazy. And then you go through a picture phase and you just create like hundreds of pictures just because you can. And you go through a picture phase, and then you get into the, okay, now how do I actually use this thing phase? And that's when you start getting a little bit more serious. So I have gone through this. My own mentor has gone through this. Another gentleman, Zach, that I work with, and you may see here around, he has gone through this. My good friend Juke, who is over at Welcome to Truth, um, he has gone through this. All of my interns have gone through this, and it's like the same phase. It's just like, all right, it's another tool to help you write, and then you start discovering what it can do, and so you just continually, you're just shocked and shocked over and over. So just be prepared for that. And if you're not getting it, and this is why I tell you that, if you're not quite getting it, that's why. It's because you're in the first phase and you're like, yeah, well, I don't really, it's like a thing of why am I watching this? So just hang in long enough, and as soon as you start to see it, you'll be along for the ride with the rest of us. So anyway, continuing. So search bar, you can upload files. Why can you upload files? Well, you can upload a text document and say, read this document. You can upload an image of, your broken sink faucet and say, how do I fix this? Give me exact step-by-step instructions, and it's going to give you exact step-by-step instructions. And maybe you don't need a plumber. So when you type something here, you get the little box here that pops up, and that's how you send the message to the agent, the artificial intelligence, and it will just respond here in the chat. Okay, and we'll do this in future videos. I'm just showing you the basic breakdown. Up here are what are called agents, and we're going to get into these a little bit later because it's really not too advanced, but it's a little more advanced. These are custom trained artificial intelligence models that do very specific things. So for example, this guy right here, I went in and I gave him custom instructions and a knowledge base to write sermons. And this was for a client who said, we want to speed up our process and we want sermons. And you can see it writes sermons, then it writes the notes for the congregation to fill in. And then it goes and makes a graphic for sermon graphics and a YouTube title and description, and then church social media posts. So anyway, all of these are trained to do specific things, and they all have very specific instructions. Okay. And I know that sounds complicated. It's not complicated at all. It's if you can use Microsoft Word, you can use this. So don't feel overwhelmed. We'll get to it. So anyway, these are called GPTs. They're also called agents. We're going to get more into those coming forward because that is looking like the future of AI, and this is going to continue to be developed on very heavily. Okay. Now, you'll see here, we've got today, yesterday, previous days, and these are chats in the past. So you can see here, I was looking up something to do with, we'll go with agape love. I was actually testing our sermon writer over here. And down here, we've got settings and various settings. Maybe we'll go through these in another video. But, just basic settings. What I would recommend is if you get signed up, come in here to settings and beta, and then come into data controls. Where are you? Settings and beta. There should be somewhere where you can turn on a beta features. But you know what? I know why this isn't here, actually. It's because I'm a paid member. So get a paid membership, and then you get all the beta features. Excuse me. They've changed that. So, of course, here you can invite members from your team. Give it a couple hours of doing this, and I think you'll start figuring out why you'd want to do that. And so this is basic overview. I mean, this is really it. There's not a lot here. One other thing I guess we will point out here. Okay, plugins you're really not going to need. That is sort of being phased out, so we probably won't even cover it. We're going to cover what they're replacing it with. Now, 3.5 is the free version, and it's good, but it does not retain a how do I say this? It does not have a very good ability to follow a consistent train of thought over a long period of time, and its outputs are a little shorter for that reason. They cut the outputs not only because it saves them processing power, but also because the weaker the model, the fewer parameters. And when I say that, I mean data points. Like, it read a word, for example, might be a data point. Well, they feed in billions and billions of data points, and we'll get into this in a future video. But the more they feed in, the stronger the model. And this is a less strong model. So this is the one they give away for free. You can play with, and it does okay for simple tasks. I just use 4 all of the time. This is the most up-to-date model. When you sign up for and this will change over time as well, but right now, as you can see on the screen, when you have the enterprise or the subscription for your team, You'll see here, you get 100 messages every 3 hours. You can check this for the updates. This will get bigger and bigger until it's unlimited. As they're scaling these tools, they're trying to limit server load drain, whatever. There's so many people using this. So as they're able to scale up their server size and their processing power, they will open this up more. So just be aware of that. So this is ChatGPT. And so this is the basic overview of the layout. You can see it's very simple and not very complex. So with that, I'll see you in the next video where we're going to get a little bit deeper. God bless.